Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch for sale on our website or this channel. Reach out to me directly, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. Today we're discussing a watch made between 2012 and 2014, discontinued and highly sought. This is the FP Journe Centigraphe Sport in aluminum. A mass of under 60 grams, a 42 millimeter case diameter, and a slender profile of only 11.2 millimeters with a 52 millimeter distance across the wrist means this watch wears with an almost toy-like ease. Super comfortable because the integration of the bracelet and the lugs, I like to say this watch wears like a 40 millimeter, and because it is so low on the wrist, it easily slides underneath the cuff. I can recommend it for a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference, and I rarely say that about a 42. Taking a quick look at the hardware, the discontinued aluminum model is discontinued because it was a pain in the butt for FP Journe to make. He builds his cases, his bracelets, and his clasps, so crafting this aluminum carapace as well as band proved to be excessively time-consuming and expensive. So he switched to titanium, which is cheaper and easier. As the collector, you benefit from the rarity of this aluminum model, as well as the distinct aesthetic as the bright silver contrasts with the nickel anthracite of the later titanium. You have rubber bumpers, which add a tonal contrast, but also tend to preserve these watches really well. I have yet to see one that's gouged, and frankly, I somewhat regret the recent removal of the bumpers on the latest generation of 44 millimeter line sport watches. I think those will disfigure quickly. This is built to last. The removable links to the bracelet, as you can see, are fixed in place by screws, no pins and sleeves here. And then we have a double folding aluminum clasp with a rubber coated underside to the buckle. Rolling around the case, you can see once again those rubber bumpers built in, but you can also see that this is a different case than you get on the standard FP Journe models. It's not a dress watch. It's designed to integrate with the bracelet, so in that sense, it's a little bit of a nod to the Gerald Genta hits of the 70s and the many watches that emulated them. But it's all Journe's shape here. What you find is that the bezel is nicely domed and it's a handsome muted frosted finish. It seems to glow rather than explode in strong light. We have rubber-coated chronograph rocker and crown, and you should note if you want to wind this watch, you have to pull it out to the first position. When it's flush with the case, it doesn't do anything. You pull it out to the first position and then you wind. You pull it out to the next position and now you can set. Push that back in real quick. The watch includes a dial that features prominent three-dimensional blocks of applique luminova. So these numerals are actually three-dimensional. They have height and volume, and they have a wonderful look. The timepiece, of course, is more technically inclined, both in terms of its appearance and in terms of its fabrication. Let's start with appearance. Unlike the standard Centigraphe, you don't have the tachymeters on the sub-registers. This is a 1 second foudroyant, 20 seconds, and 10 minutes. That's what the chronograph is measuring. And because the tachymeters have been removed, the scales can be opened up, and the solid dials are replaced here on the Line Sport with smoked sapphires, so you can actually see the underlying mechanism. You can also see the second 1/100th of escapement, 360,000 vibration per hour escapement that propels the foudroyant. Of course, it is a 1/100th of a second dial, and it is the namesake of the watch, Centigraphe. Now, the watch also includes a bezel for the sub-registers, as with other FP Journe watches, only instead of here being black polished steel, it is satin finished aluminum. Roll the watch over and you get the caliber 1506, 15 French lean in diameter, 06 being the year work started. This movement won the GPHG Aiguille d'Or in the standard Centigraphe back in 2007, so it's a GPHG Aiguille d'Or winner. It is also made entirely of aluminum, so unlike the standard rose gold movement, this one, like the rest of the watch, has a highly technical, almost industrial look to it, and it's super light. All of this is 30 meters water resistant. It has every refinement except hacking seconds. That it does not have, but what it does have is a patented system that allows you to start, stop, and resume like a twin pusher, but with the convenience of a mono pusher. That is patented. So too is the barrel. You drive the chronograph off the arbor of the barrel, and you drive the time, the hands at center, off the toothed edge of the barrel. That allows you to activate the chronograph without losing balance amplitude. The watch has an 80-hour manual wind power reserve with the chronograph off and a 24-hour power reserve with the chronograph on. All of this pivots on 50 joules. It's adjusted with a free-sprung balance for shock resistance. So once adjusted, Shock and concussion cannot displace the variable inertia blocks on the balance which are used for regulation, and it beats away at 21,600 vibrations per hour. I understand fewer than 200, the name or number often bandied is 176 examples of this Centigraphe Sport in aluminum were constructed. That makes them rare by any measure, even by FP Journe standards. Email tmosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. And we're back with the FP Journe Centigraphe Sport by night.